think it might be. Okay. It is live. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of The Sideline. My name is Rishi Oza.
My name's Asher Heyer.
And man, it has been a while. It's been like 2.5 weeks almost since we have made a video. We hit the lull of the sports season where there was literally just baseball, nothing going on after summer league. Training camp hadn't started yet. Nothing basketball wise going on. It's just middle of the season for baseball, but there have been a lot of updates, a lot of stuff going on over the past few days. So we'll start off with just some Broncos training camp stuff. Some tough news come out today. Tim Patrick tearing his ACL, expected to be out for the year. Just brutal. It's the third straight year a wide receiver has torn his ACL. And dead. This is brutal. Just the worst news that you could have possibly gotten out of today's training camp.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so unlucky how much we've had to deal with the ACL. Jamal Murray, and now the Broncos players. And then it was like Bradley Chubb, not too long ago, Von Miller. Those weren't necessarily ACLs, but those were still huge injuries.
Bradley Chubb was his in 2019.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And Vaughn's was like his ankle foot, or something.
Yeah. But they were both out for the year. So yeah, I mean, I guess we're used to it. It happens. Like every team pretty much is gonna have to deal with something like this. But it really sucks, man, because at least KJ's coming back. So we have, like a true, core of 3 wide receivers, even without Patrick. But
yeah,
Patrick just fits what Russell Wilson wants to do so well, because he loves those big bodied receivers, and Patrick was having a great camp. It sounded like, but yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, it was just really tough, and you hit it right on the nail. Patrick was like exact type of receiver that Wilson loves. A contested ball guy, great deep threat. Even last year with Teddy Bridgewater as quarterback for most of the season, he had a couple of really great deep ball touchdowns. So that just really, really sucks. I'm glad he got paid before this happened. He got the extension just before last season ended. So that is good that he was able to get his money, because that is an NFL player's worst fear is, going into your free agency and then you get an injury and then your value on the market just drops. You can't make nearly as much as you would have before. Tim Patrick able to get that before. But I think Denver is still in good shape even without him. I think their wide receiver room is still pretty good. I think Colin Sexton has been having a really, really good camp. Him and Patrick Surtain, who's also having a tremendous camp. They've been matched up for majority of the reps, and I think Surtain's probably been winning the battle overall, but Sutton's in the red zone has had a couple really nice plays. He's had a couple touchdowns against Surtain. Russ seems to love Sutton. He seems to love Judy, who's been playing really well. Looks like, Broncos media sucks. Like, I will say this, most of Broncos media is awful, and they, for whatever reason, they will portray Jerry Jeudy in a way that looks like he doesn't care about football, which is just so dumb. Like when everyone was out in San Diego with Russell Wilson, like immediately after the trade, everyone was like, "Oh, Jerry Jeudy isn't there. What's going on?" And he was like in the hospital for something. Like some big family event was happening, so he's in the hospital, and everyone thought that he just didn't care about football. But the complete opposite has been happening in camp. There's been reports that he's been staying after with Russell Wilson. He's been in the film room with the quarterbacks. He's been doing his own film sessions. So it's great to hear. I'm super excited to see how he plays with a legit quarterback. I'm so excited for the season. And regardless of the Patrick news, that the camp has been going really good for all the receivers.
And then we didn't even mention, but Montreal Washington, I've heard or I've seen has been having like a fabulous camp. He had like a 40 yards, maybe it was a 60-yard touchdown, I think, today. And I think he's going to be the kickoff return guy, and he's been excelling at that too. But he's just another, in case one of the other receivers goes down, like he would be a fun option to have. Was he undrafted or was it like the 7th round?
I think he was like a 4th.
Oh, was he really?
Yeah, he was like a middle round. But like they did draft him to be a return guy.
Yeah.
But he's definitely been making plays offensively too. Mostly with second team. I don't think he's gotten any first team reps. Maybe with the Patrick injury, he will. But yeah, he's definitely been showing. I'm super excited to see him. Mm-hmm. It looks like this draft class has been really good. I'm just the Patrick injury just puts a whole damper on like the whole vibe of practice. Just because like it's just like it's non-contact. Those are the worst, and in practice too, because you're not going 100%, and it's something still happens. It just sucks.
Yeah,
it just really, really sucks. Yeah,
it's just so unfortunate. I feel so bad for him too. It's like right in the middle of his prime. I think he's kind of, exiting his prime. I think he's like 29 maybe.
Look up. But yeah, he's because he was
just.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure he was a fifth-year guy coming out of college, and he was undrafted, and he didn't play for a year maybe. So like he was like a really late addition.
Yeah.
To the NFL. So
28. And that's just such a brutal time to have it.
Because, and he's gonna turn 29.
Yeah. So I mean, he's gonna be, a little bit through next season when he's back. He's gonna be 30 years old already. And so then it's just like, can he really come back from this at 30 years old or what is it? It stinks for him. But as you said, he did get the money. So, nothing to worry about financially really for him.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, it just stinks for the offense overall. Yeah. But still super excited as long as like, no really other big injuries happen.
Yeah.
Like,
because like last year we would have been like KJ Hamler or first off, Jerry Jeudy went down week 1. And everyone thought that was going to be like really bad because the injury looked really bad. He couldn't walk afterwards, but thankfully he was able to come back at least at some point during the season. But even then, like Cortland Sutton really wasn't himself until later in the year. And even then, like the way that the offense was just run, like he wasn't being taken advantage of. And then KJ Hamler goes down with his ACL injury in week 3, I believe. So like you're without your top 2 speed guys for most of the season, and the offense. And we talked about it last year so often, like they missed that element. So I think those 2 are the key guys. If Hamler and Jeudy are able to stay healthy, and if they can play like 14, 15 games each, I think the Broncos offense will be just fine. Because especially with Russell Wilson, he really likes his speed guys as well. He had a really good rapport with DK Metcalf, who was kind of the big jump ball contested guy, who I think Cortland Sutton is better than, and I think he's a more well-rounded receiver. But then you also look at the speed guy like he had it with Tyler Lockett. KJ Hamler and Jerry Jeudy are exactly that. So I think he fits perfectly with the offense, and I think it's been working really well. I think the way that the offensive defense has been battling in camp, by all reports, has been really, really fun. Mm-hmm. The defense looks good. It looks really, really good, and I'm super excited to see how if they can stay healthy, they're going to be really, really solid. We haven't seen Randy Gregory yet in camp, but he is. I think he's going to be phenomenal. I think he's going to be phenomenal. His skill, like everyone looked at the sack numbers, and I think he only had like 6 or 7 last year, but he had the most pressures on the team on Dallas last year, and that's with Micah Parsons having like 13, 14 sacks. So he gets to the quarterback, he creates havoc in the backfield, and I'm super excited. I'm really, really excited.
I mean, he's always been shown flashes of huge potential. It's really just the suspensions. Like even at Nebraska, like he was probably projected to be a top 5 pick, and then there's off the field stuff that came out about him, and he fell to the 2nd round, and it's been the same in the NFL. Like he's huge, he's fast, just has the whole really package of being a great edge rusher. And hopefully, he played 12 games last year, 10 games a year before that. Hopefully this year, he gets a chance to play 15, 16, and this is his breakout like sack number year. And I think he's primed to be in the best position to do that in his career. With him and Chubb on the other side, and really it's not like he's going to get passed up like competition wise, like maybe he was always having to deal with in Dallas. So yeah.
No, I think defensively the biggest name has been Surtain, though. Mentioned earlier. It looks like every single play that they put out is his coverage is so sticky. His technique, even when he came into the league, like you could tell. So off the first preseason game, we're like, all right, this guy's gonna be really, really good. And it looks like he got better. It looks like he's fully blossomed into the cornerback one for the Broncos, which will be huge considering the schedule is pretty hard over the last like 6-7 games. It's going to be going up against a lot of big time receivers. So he's going to be the biggest part of the defense. And it looks like he's up to the challenge. So that's going to be really fun to watch to see his development, because everybody last year was, we should take it Justin Fields. Justin Fields is right there, including me and you. I'm pretty like both of us.
Oh, not me.
Oh, not you? Okay, never mind. It was just me.
Not one of those guys. Yeah.
It was just me who wanted most of my friends wanted Justin Fields. Most of the Broncos fan base wanted Justin Fields. And Pat Surtain proved to be the correct pick, and hopefully he's able to prove that he was the correct pick.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm so excited. This Broncos season is going to be so fun. It just sucks that literally every other team in the AFC also got better, right as Denver gets the missing
I know,
piece.
right? Yeah, my pick in that draft was Micah Parsons, not one of the quarterbacks, unless it was like Zach Wilson. That was it, pretty much. But yeah, as you said, Surtain, really good camp. The defense, I'm excited to see what this defense can be like with a new system. I know Vic Fangio's system was really good, but just, something new with Avero. Maybe he sends more blitzes and stuff like that. I don't know. But yeah, all the indications has been that the defense has been playing really, really well. Which is fun, because that was kind of I guess a little bit of a question mark going into this year, was how good is the defense going to be? And, it's a positive sign hearing that they're good in training camp, but still doesn't tell you too much. So
yeah. And we'll really only get answers probably on the last preseason game when all the starters play a little bit. First preseason game is coming up pretty quickly.
I know.
It's on next Saturday, the 13th, I believe.
Wait, really?
Is it? I think it's that, or it might be the week after.
Because wait, do we play like an early preseason game?
No, we don't play it. But I know the Hall of Fame game is this week, I'm pretty sure.
Damn, it is the 13th.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know why I was thinking like it was gonna be like the end of August.
Oh wow.
What?
Whit Merrifield traded to the Blue Jays.
Damn, and Wilson Contreras stays with the Cubs.
Yeah, both him and Ian happen. After all of the hubbub that happened with the, him keeping like the ball that like his last hit, and the standing ovation,
I know,
the hugs,
all the crying and stuff. Yeah,
that always seems to happen. The biggest like reactions from the trade, they don't actually get traded.
Yeah.
But
yeah, Whit Merrifield is gonna have to get vaccinated here.
Is he not?
No, he didn't. Oh. He didn't go to Toronto like a couple days ago.
Oh, I thought he. Oh yeah. Wow.
But yeah, I think that was actually the last trade.
Yeah, I think it looks.
Says, I don't think there's any other buzzer beaters. Oh, it just says from the Cubs.
Oh yeah, we'll see if there's any other ones. Carlos Rodon is staying. Jock Peterson is staying. Martin Perez staying. Matt Moore staying. So a lot of the big names did not get moved. But the Yankees got Harrison Bader. They traded Jordan Montgomery for Harrison Bader. Good defensive upgrade for them. I think that's the only other big one that happened like over the last like 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I guess we could move on to baseball now. Trade deadline ended about 9 minutes ago. So we're just seeing if there are any ones that went through and they're just waiting to announce them. But obviously the big trade of the last 4 or 5 years, Juan Soto to the, of course, San Diego Padres, who traded a lot to get him. They traded, let me look up, they gave up like Raisel Iglesias, traded from the Angels to the Braves. So yeah, there are a couple new ones still coming in. Let me look up the entire package, but it was huge. It wasn't a lot of players necessarily, but it was a lot of San Diego's top prospects. So, so we'll see how the Nationals are able to get it. But let's see. Josh Bell was also part of that trade, which was huge.
Yeah, that's insane.
Details. God, why is it so hard to find this? Okay, so the Nationals get Mackenzie Gore, who was pitching well this season before he got hurt, and he's one of the San Diego's top prospects. Harleen Susana, who is a rookie, who I think they said pitches like in the late innings up to 99 miles an hour. CJ Abrams, who has been up for a bit, and he's one of their top prospects. James Wood, another one of their top prospects, and Robert Hassel, another one of their top prospects. And then they will be getting one player to be named later, but it will be an MLB player to be named later.
It's Luke Voigt.
It was Luke Voigt. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then the Padres get obviously Juan Soto, and they get Josh Bell. And they weren't done there. They also got Brandon Drury, and they traded their number 6. They traded their number 6 overall prospect for him. Sandy Alcazar, I think was his name.
Victor Acosta.
Sandy Alcazar, someone else. Victor Acosta. Yeah, but the Padres went all in. They went all in, and they're in position for a playoff spot right now. And they still haven't gotten Fernando Tatis back, but he's going to come back soon. Manny Machado's been playing an MVP candidate.
Yeah. Then not to mention they also got Josh Hader. Like,
oh yeah, that happened
one
yesterday.
Of the best, one of the best like closers of his generation up until this year. I don't know what did they trade for him. I didn't ever see
for Hader. They gave up, I think, just some prospects. I don't think they gave up any MLB guy. They gave up Dinelson Lamet, and he was he was the main MLB guy that they gave up.
And Taylor Rogers.
Yeah. But they got him, and the Padres went all in, and they're still. I doubt they win the division, but if they don't make the playoffs after this,
so funny.
Like last year, like like last year, everyone was like, "Oh my God, they're gonna get Scherzer at the deadline," and then something happened, and the Dodgers got Scherzer and Turner out of nowhere, and then the Padres still didn't end up making the playoffs. Which was just hilarious. But I don't think there's any way they don't make the playoffs now. The pitching staff has been really good. Yu Darvish has been exceptional. Mike Clevenger's come back and he's pitched really well.
Yeah.
Blake Snell has been good. I think he's on the IL right now, but when he pitches, he's been pitching well. So I think San Diego's going to be really, really good, and it sucks.
I know it sucks. Like to see a team actually want to like win. Like the Rockies were never, their run in the playoffs of back-to-back years. They got like Pat Neshek, Jonathan Lucroy.
That's Sungwon Oh.
Yeah, him.
Yeah.
Like when with a lineup like that, Brendan Rodgers being one of the top prospects in baseball back then, like you could have made a splash. And it's every single year for the Padres. They're in it. They were in on Max. They're literally in on everyone. They even offered like a serious deal for Ohtani, Scherzer, Trey Turner. I mean, every single player they're on, and they come out with probably the second best player, and maybe even the best player in baseball right now, in Juan Soto, like one of the best purest hitters since Barry Bonds. I mean, tremendous player, and they got a huge upgrade at first base too.
Yeah, with Josh Bell, yeah, like that was huge. That this trade is like it's going to be big. And they said that they have optimism that they're going to be able to re-sign him to an extension.
Yeah.
Because Juan Soto still somehow he's only 23 still. So like he's still, I don't, it's crazy to think that he hasn't even entered his prime yet, which is ridiculous because he's an OPS king. He's got incredible power. He's an incredible defender. He has a great walk rate. He doesn't strike out. He hits for power. He hits for extra base hits. He's patient. He hits the opposite way very well. Like he does everything you need from a baseball player, and he's 23 years old, hasn't entered his prime yet, and he's probably going to get the biggest contract in sports history this offseason. But this was huge pickup for the Padres. It's just like, oh my God. Well, first off, I'm glad he didn't go to the Dodgers. Went to the Dodgers, I would have cried.
I know.
If he was going to go to a team, like it was between the Dodgers, Cardinals, and the Padres, I'm pretty sure. And the Cardinals, for whatever reason, they were the leaders and they didn't want to give up Dylan Carlson. And that was like the deal breaker. And I was like,
really?
You're losing out on Juan Soto for Dylan Carlson, really? I think it was they didn't want to give up Dylan Carlson and another top prospect.
Right.
But the Padres clearly didn't have that hold up. They were like, take everything, take whatever you want for him. So I've always said it, like I respect it when teams go all in because it's better than staying put. And unfortunately, the Rockies are the kings of staying put. And
I mean, today they're the only MLB team that has not like had a transaction today.
Yeah, they didn't do anything. They called up some players for the doubleheader. That's it.
Yeah,
that's all they did. And I just can't believe. I don't get it. Like there's no way the entire there's no way not a single person in management and ownership truly believes this team's a contender. There's no way because they have you have to look at guys like there was rumors Iglesias could get traded, Estevez, Chad Kuhl. Those are the guys like, okay, they might be gone. But you look at Daniel Bard, who's 37, you signed to a 2-year extension. Why?
I know.
You could have traded him and gotten prospects back, good ones, because he's been very, very good this season. And then CJ Crone, you probably should have traded last year, if we're being honest. And he's your all-star this year. He's playing really well. You could have gotten some decent prospects back for him. You don't, and he's probably just going to leave in the offseason anyway. And it's just like, why? Like, why? Like, there's no reason to. You did it last year too. You did it the season before. You're going to lose out. Like, wait, is all of this really worth just like a conditional pick? Like, I really don't get it. They didn't even get one for John Gray, I'm pretty sure, because they didn't give him a qualifying offer.
Yeah.
And then they got mad. Like, they didn't give him a qualifying offer. They gave him a contract offer. And then his agent went and obviously found him a better deal with Texas, and he signed with them. But the Rockies front office was mad that his agent was like, he was like, why did he go get a better deal? Like, why didn't you just stay with us? Like, because you're freaking idiots. You're morons.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, it is truly is one of the worst run franchises in sports. Like, I'm not even kidding, because they have these stars who want to stay. Trevor Story wanted to stay. John Gray wanted to stay. Nolan wanted to stay. Matt Holliday wanted to stay. Tulo wanted to stay. All of them, they wanted to be here and win here. But the second they voice any displeasure or any criticism about how the front office runs the team, the front office is like, no, we're right, you're wrong, we're trading you. And it just puts the franchise down and back and back and back and back and even more. And it's just like, I don't get it. I really don't get it. I don't understand how those people got jobs, because it's like, it's truly mind-boggling. If you try and make sense out of it, you're just going to hurt your brain, because there's,
and just the like unwillingness to switch out, to bring new minds in and kick old minds out the door. Like when Bridich stepped down, instead of going to get, some other guy from another team that can bring in a new philosophy that clearly didn't work with Bridich, and the way he was, going about getting pitchers that were, pretty much the polar opposite of what should be pitching at Coors Field. And he went to get all of those relievers. Like Brian Shaw makes no sense pitching at Coors Field. Try to bring in another guy that can, as I said, like change the philosophy, but no, instead they just promote Bill Schmidt, who has been with the team for a long time too. And like, I just don't see the sense in that at all, because you're thinking ever since the Montforts bought the team. I mean, the Rockies have never been a successful franchise with them, and it sucks.
There's no reason for them to be as bad as they are, and I think ownership, they really just only care about money right now, and unfortunately, the Rockies are making money because of ticket sales and merchandise. Because Colorado is a great baseball city. Their fan base spans so much. It goes into Utah, Wyoming, Nebraska, up to Idaho and Montana, even parts of Nevada as well. Like it spans so much because there's so many people who love baseball, but there's only one team in that entire area. But they're not taking advantage of it. And like this past weekend, they sold out the stadium almost every single night from like Thursday to Sunday. Because the White Sox and the Dodgers were in town, and obviously those are two of the biggest fan bases in sports. And the away fans really packed out the stadium, and I'm guarantee you the Montforts were like, "Good weekend." Good. And the Rockies went 2-6. They're probably like, "Let's go, good weekend." Like, no, it's not a good weekend. Like it's a horrible weekend. You should be if you're gonna try to win, like how they keep saying they are. You can't stand pat at the trade deadline. You can't just do nothing. You have to either do something or you sell. And they didn't do either, because they know that if they just stay slightly mediocre, they're going to sell tickets and they're going to sell jerseys. And that's all that the ownership cares about. And for whatever reason, the front office is like, yeah, that makes sense. So
I know. It's tough. And it just sucks because there's like nothing you can do because they're the owners. It's just like, you can't do anything to have them sell the team. It's just so weird how, I mean, you either choose, really pretty much every team chooses to either buy or sell at the deadline. And
this is like the fourth straight year the Rockies have done that.
Rockies haven't. Yeah.
It's insane. Like their biggest trade move the last like 2-3 years was trading for Michael Givens. Like what? How is that? How does that help the team in any way? It just doesn't make it. It makes zero sense. I have a tweet that I bookmarked. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, Red Sox aren't trading JD Martinez. So I'm just gonna go through some of the notifications that I have. Yeah, no late trades from the Rockies. Nothing happened. I have a tweet that I bookmarked. Let me see it. Yeah, if you don't follow the Rockies and you think, hey, this move makes no sense when looking at the barred contract extension, you'll never find a rationale looking through the lens of building a competitive team. The thing you have to understand about the Rockies is that they care about their culture above all else, which is 100% true. They're relentlessly loyal to people in their circle, relentless to a fault, and many of the qualities they look for are good qualities. This leaves them with likable players and an easy roster to root for, with a ballpark that's a great place to bring family and friends. However, they will never make the hard decisions when it comes to long-term success of the franchise on the field. They won't sacrifice an ounce of what they perceive as a winning culture for smart baseball decisions. And that perfectly describes what the Colorado Rockies have been over the last 3 seasons. And until they change ownership or until front office stands up to ownership, it's not going to change. And unfortunately, I think that's going to be the span of like Chris Bryant's contract. So for the next 6-7 years, that's the way it's going to be.
I know. I literally, every move makes no sense. I mean,
no sense, zero sense.
Chris Bryant, I have no idea. I remember like maybe it's the same offseason as the Nolan trade offseason, but they just made like other deals that made absolutely no sense, whether it was like Sam Howard or someone to Pittsburgh or something. Then he had a really good year there. There's some other trades I'm forgetting about. There's like a Reds trade. I don't know. They just made like absolutely no sense. Like it doesn't move the needle at all. I mean, it probably pushes you back because you lose the trade, but yeah, it is definitely tough being a Rockies fan, especially looking at, the other teams in your division that know how to correctly run a baseball team.
Yeah. And know how to run a baseball team well.
Mm-hmm.
Like really, really well. And
like the Diamondbacks have one of the best farm systems.
Mm-hmm.
The Giants, they always find a way to be a winning team. And then the Dodgers are the best ran franchise in sports probably. And then the Padres now getting everyone at the deadline.
Yeah. Oh, it just blows. It really, really blows. As we'll talk about some other trades that happened. Trey Mancini to the Astros, I thought was a really good deal. I don't know why the Orioles were selling, because they're like close to a playoff spot and they have a really, really young roster. But if they want to sell and just kind of wait to make a run until next year, that like fine. They're young enough to where they can wait for that.
Mm-hmm.
But they also traded Jorge Lopez to the Twins, which I thought the Twins had a really good. I think they had a really good deadline. They also got Michael Fulmer from Detroit, I think. Or like he was last on Detroit last time I remember. But they got him. They got Jorge Lopez, which is good. They got a shutdown closer. Twins have kind of been like the surprise to me of the season. They've been in first place majority of the year in the AL Central, kind of to the fault of the White Sox. But the Twins have been good. I think they had a good deadline. Who else? Yankees traded Joey Gallo to the Dodgers, which means he's going to be incredible. What else? I know there were other big moves that happened. I just can't remember any of them.
Let me.
Yeah, off the top of my head.
Luis Castillo.
Yes.
The Mariners.
Yeah, they did overpay a tad, just a tad. But I like that move for them. He's going from one of the most hitter-friendly ballparks to one of the most pitcher-friendly ballparks to a team with a really good defense. That they did give up like 3 top 5 prospects for him, which is like, why? That didn't make any sense.
But I'm happy. At least he didn't go to the Dodgers too. The Dodgers really didn't do anything this deadline.
Which is
surprising.
They don't really have to.
Yeah,
that's the most talented roster in baseball history. Like I think it'd be pretty sad if they made a big splash. But they're like 27 games above 500.
I know they're so good, but I think that the bottom of their lineup could use some work because Bellinger and Muncy have been terrible.
Yeah.
And other than they've had to get Jake Lamb and
they traded Jake Lamb too.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying they've had to do a makeover on the bottom of their lineup.
Trace Thompson.
Yeah, Trace Thompson. Yeah. And then they had to bring up the Outman guy who of course homered against the Rockies. Gavin Lux I think has been decent, but he's down there. Because Chris Taylor's been hurt. And so they've needed these outfielders. Hanser Alberto is now on their team somehow. And he had a great series against the Rockies, of course.
When did that happen?
I have no idea, but I just saw he had 3 RBIs one game. But yeah, it is surprising to not see him make a move, but still.
Yeah.
Great farm system still somehow.
That's the thing that confuses me the most. I understand it's good scouting and good drafting the way that this happens, and obviously teams that scout well and draft well are going to be good. But the Yankees, for whatever reason, always have a top 5 prospect. Every single season they have a top 5 prospect. The Dodgers always have a top 10 prospect. It's the rich always keep getting richer, but I don't understand how, because they make big trades and I feel like they trade top prospects away all the time.
Yeah,
but
I mean, I feel like it just comes down to player development, that plus a lot of the top prospects like Dominguez and Julio Rodriguez, they're bought from foreign countries. They're not really drafted.
Yeah.
and they always do a good job of finding like elite foreign players.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think player development, because I always feel like the Dodgers like first round draft grade, whenever I see it's like not that good, but they just develop these random players down there that turn out to be studs.
Yeah. I remember like it was 2018 or 19, the series against the Rockies. They swept us. And all 3 games, they had walk-off homers by rookies. And I was like,
yeah.
Oh, my God. This is – I don't remember what year it was. But like,
all those rookies are random, too. Like, I don't think any of them are –
it was like Will Smith was the one guy.
Oh, like, he was,
turned
yeah.
into,
but there was it like Zach McKinstry or someone.
Somebody – I know Matt Beatty was one of them.
Yeah.
But since he left the Dodgers, I don't think he's found a place to stay. I don't remember who the third one was. But – and it was Will Smith and Matt Beatty, but I don't even remember who the other guy was. Yeah. But I don't think he has turned into anything substantial. But man, oh my God, that just sucks. Being in this division too is awful. It feels like being like a Jets fan when the Patriots were at their prime. That's what I assume this is what that feels like. Because it's just like, okay, you know that the Dodgers are going to win the division every single season. You know they're going to be phenomenal. You have some slight hope of being competitive, maybe make the playoffs every once in a while, but you know there's really no chance, which is so sucky. It's so sucky.
Oh, I guess it was it really? It was Verdugo. What's the other guy? I swear Verdugo. It was like, I don't think he was actually like he definitely played before 2019, I think, but
yeah, I think so too.
Was technically his rookie year.
I don't remember it being Verdugo.
I do remember him always killing the Rockies, though.
Yes, I do. There's a lot of people kill the Rockies. Trent Grisham homered today.
Yeah. Oh my God.
23% of his career homers are against the Rockies.
Yeah.
23%. His 12 homers on the year and 5 have come against the Rockies. And like it's just ridiculous. He's the new Will Myers. He's the new Will Myers. It's insane. Is there any other big trade deadline news? I don't think
so.
Anything big has happened. I think we do have time to. How much time is this? Yeah. We got time to talk about some NBA stuff. So obviously free agency has concluded. There still are a couple of big names out there. Colin Sexton is, to me, the biggest one. I don't know how he still isn't unsigned. He's improved every single season of his career. And last year when he was healthy, Cleveland still was good. So I don't know what's going on. All the reports say that like Cleveland doesn't think he's good. And they gave him like a really bad offer and they prefer Caris LeVert over him. I'm like, why? I don't really understand.
Yeah, I think basketball is kind of going in this direction where the small point guard is definitely being replaced by bigger guys that can score, I think. And like Sexton, obviously his defense isn't very good. And just being undersized and kind of, he was like efficient, but he still shot a lot of shots and really wasn't a playmaker at all. So if you have a poor defender, poor playmaker, somewhat efficient scorer, really not, and then he's short, I think that unfortunately turns into a guy that's just not really like wanted by teams who are trying to win seriously. Like he would be nice on like a struggling team as a 20-point per game scorer, but I don't know how you'd be on a really good winning team. Like I just don't see his role. Like if he was with the Warriors, like I just don't see how he would be a positive. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's definitely tough. I do understand that part because he's been such an on-ball guy his whole career. Like, he's been the main ball handler, but Darius Garland with his evolution to becoming an all-star, he took the reins from the get-go. And Colin Sexton, like I think he played fine, but obviously his efficiency wasn't very good. He was kind of struggling to find a role. Then he obviously gets hurt, but yeah, I think there's not a lot of evidence that he can be good off the ball and be a secondary ball handler and a secondary scorer. But like, I feel like some team has to, like, he's only 23, I'm pretty sure, 23, 24. Like he is still young. He has time. The meniscus tear isn't gonna, it's not gonna end his career. It's not gonna change much, especially with today's medicine and knowledge. So yeah, I think he's been the biggest, like, why is he unsigned contract? Because I feel like some team like Detroit or somebody,
I know,
some bad team at this point should have given him something. Like, but I don't know.
Yeah, I just think like the NBA body is really becoming, with this whole wings transition. Like, I think that's really becoming a huge kind of, topic and like evaluating players and stuff.
Yeah, I think the biggest case of that is probably Peyton Watson going in the first round after having a really rough season. But just the fact that he has all the tools to be good and the fact that he has an NBA body, it really catapulted him into a first round spot.
Right.
Yeah, you're probably right about his size being a factor. I think he's probably the biggest free agent who's still available. DeAndre Ayton was, but he, with the whole Pacers thing, I wish he's just signed with the Pacers, but the offer sheet stuff, the restricted free agency things, obviously didn't help him. But he is going to stay in Phoenix, and it looks like in terms of trades, Kevin Durant's probably not going to get traded. His trade request and all of that has come to a stalemate. I think there was a report from Boardroom, I think, that said he's going to meet with the owner to talk about what's going to happen. He's probably not going to get traded. I doubt Kyrie Irving gets traded if Kevin Durant doesn't get traded. And then Donovan Mitchell probably won't get traded either. All because of good old friend Tim Connolly and the Rudy Gobert trade.
I know.
It screwed up the entire market. And now no one's going to get traded because everyone wants 9 first-round picks because Gobert went for 5. Yeah, that just screwed up everything. This offseason was going to be like, oh my God, Kyrie's going to get traded and Katie's going to get traded after Gobert gets traded. Now Mitchell might get traded and it's just going to be Gobert.
Yeah.
So
classic Tim. Yeah.
Classic Tim. Not making a big move until Aaron Gordon and then goes and screws up the whole trade market.
Right. I guess speaking of the Nuggets, did we talk about Bruce Brown?
I think a little bit. I think we talked about the first couple moves that we made.
But still a great off season for the Nuggets.
Yeah. I like a couple nights ago, I was just up at like 3 a.m. and I was just like watching MPJ and Jamal Murray highlights. And I was like, oh my God, these guys are so good at basketball.
I know.
I was like, I cannot believe how good the Nuggets are good. Hold on, I sent like
76ers game that keeps going around.
That 76ers game and the Clippers game. Those games truly were the highlight of my life.
Yeah.
Like where are these? Okay. Like I was just this is just the text that I was sending my friends. I'm currently watching Jamal Murray and MPJ highlights, just in awe of how good in basketball they are and how they didn't play. I can't imagine how good the team is going to be when they're healthy. Denver won 48 games last year with Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray combined playing 9 games. And like legitimately, I feel like the Nuggets could put up 40 points in a quarter 20 plus times in the season. Because I look at the starting lineup and how do you guard it? How do you guard it? There's no weaknesses offensively. 0 weaknesses. And I'm like the Nuggets, I'm pretty sure they either had the best EFG in the league last season or they had.
It was the best true shooting, I think. Or wait, I don't know.
It was either like top 5 EFG or best EFG or something, some advanced shooting metric.
I think it was best in true shooting.
It was best in true shooting. That's even better than EFG. But like they had that without Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray. And it's like, what is going to happen when they play? Like, it's going to break basketball when they play. Legitimately, that's what I think. Like, I want to be calm and just kind of like not make my expectations so crazy high and be like, oh, we're going to win the championship. just because of the hell we went through last season. Like that last season was so hard to watch. It was so hard to stay optimistic. And truly the only thing keeping a lot of Nuggets fans alive was the possibility of Jamal Murray and Mike Porter Jr. coming back to play. And they didn't. And it was just such a disappointment considering all the pain we went through. But like, how can we not win? Like
I know it's like a 48-win team adding those two guys plus Bruce Brown,
plus KCP.
Yeah.
Like, how do you not like, I understand the rest of the West probably got better. The only team I can see realistically beating the Nuggets is the Clippers. And that's just because of their depth. I think they're the deepest team in the NBA. And I think that they have the resources to be able to neutralize Murray and MPJ the best because of Kawhi and Paul George. And I understand Jamal Murray has exploited them before, but that was 2 years ago, coming up on 3 years ago. Jesus Christ. Coming up on 3 years ago now. So like things have changed. Obviously Murray's coming back from injury. He's not going to be the same. MPJ's not going to be the same. Kawhi won't be the same coming off of his ACL. But I just think they have the best resources. They have the best reputation of being able to return to form. Celtics as well because of their team defense, but they also might be the stupidest offensive team I've ever watched. Getting Malcolm Brogdon helps, but I still think they're not going to be too great.
Warriors obviously still.
The Warriors still, you can't count out the defending champions. If the Lakers, the roster just sucks, but they have great. I mean, they have LeBron and Anthony Davis. If those two are able to stay healthy, they're going to be good, just because of how great those two are. But like, I can't see how the Nuggets don't at least make the finals.
There's going to be like an issue somewhere that we're going to have to address, like something that we just don't really see. Kind of coming. That's just going to arise, like whether it's offensively, defensively, some stat we're going to be like last in, and then we can address that.
I think my bold prediction is that DeAndre Jordan isn't as awful as everyone says he is. And like, he's probably going to be bad, but like, I will say that he will have a slightly below average season instead of worst player in the NBA.
Let's hope.
So that's my bold prediction, that he will not be the issue of the Nuggets. It'll be something else. I don't know what it is. Like, I can't get it off the top of my head, but I think you're right. Like, there's definitely going to be something that just doesn't pop into our heads. Like last season, it was a fact that we didn't have a backup center. Obviously, we get Jeff Green, and we get Jeff Green to replace Paul Millsap. And Paul Millsap last year to end the year was not good. And Jeff Green his last season in Brooklyn was really, really good. So we're like, oh, we have him to replace us as the bench backup five. We're going to be phenomenal. And then him and Jermichael Green were like the worst pairing in the NBA. So there definitely will be something. I just have no clue what it is. My bias and excitement for the season is definitely clouding my judgment.
I know, right? Like, we still got to think through.
Yeah.
I mean, health. I'm trying to think health, obviously, but just assume everyone's healthy. Like, would it be like a backup?
I think bench offense to me is the biggest glaring issue, because like Bones is obviously there and he's going to be the main guy off the bench, and then not Ish Smith, but Bruce Brown is there, but he's not a guy who you can rely on taking and making shots. Davon Reed, once again, same thing as Bruce Brown. You don't really want him to be the creator. Zeke Naji, same thing. Jeff Green, same thing. DeAndre Jordan, same thing. I don't see a lot of creation on the bench outside of Bones Highland. The whole offense off the bench is going to revolve around Bones. But like, that's the one thing that I'm like, we might have to make a move to do something. But outside of that, I truly cannot see a weakness. Like, I truly cannot. Defensively or offensively, I can't see it. Maybe we might have to ask non-Nuggets fans.
Right. I guess that's the best way.
Bias is definitely clouding it, but yeah, I think Denver had a phenomenal offseason. Another team that had a good offseason, in my opinion at least, was the Thunder. I think locking up Lou Dort was good. They might have overpaid it a little bit, but I think his market value is going to skyrocket after the next couple of seasons. Obviously, I think Chet Holmgren was a good pick. He played really well in Summer League. Both Jalen Williams they got have been playing really well. I think they're going to be a better team than people think next year. Like people think they're going to be in contention for Wembanyama. Like, no, they're not. They're not going to be in contention for it. They're going to be like a 12 or 11 seed because they have so much talent. Like they're going to string together a stretch where they're just like winning games where they shouldn't because of how talented they are. But also they're going to lose games that they should because they're a young team, and that's just what happens with young teams.
Yeah.
What about you? What teams did you think had some
I just had a team. Oh, I was just gonna say that the guys in the Wembanyama chase would be like the Spurs, and then we'll see what happens with Donovan Mitchell, and where he goes. So I mean that could determine what team has the best offseason. That trade's still coming up. I don't know. I feel like you pretty much hit all of the main teams that like definitely improved. I'm just trying to think, like I can't just recount all the free agent moves.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing, especially in this offseason, has just been teams getting healthy. Like the Pelicans getting Zion back, obviously that's gonna help, but that's not like an addition. Denver getting Murray and MPJ, Clippers getting Kawhi and PG back fully healthy for the whole year. Like that's obviously gonna help.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, I can't like think of any teams that like made like 2 or 3 really big moves. Well, okay, actually I think Portland.
I was just about to say Portland.
Yeah, that's just like 2 or 3 really big moves. Portland I think had a really good offseason. That it pains me to say it because I think they should have blown it up. But if they are going to go all in, I think they went as big as you could have with the assets that they had. I think the Shaedon Sharp pick, because they do have a pretty loaded guard room already, taking him and seeing what he becomes is really not that big of a risk. And then you still have Josh Hart, Simons, Dame, Mr. Little still on the team. I think like they still have some depth there. And then getting Jeremy Grant, I think, is a really good fit for them. Keeping Nurkic. And then Gary Payton, I thought was a phenomenal signing. Like I think Portland really had a really good offseason. But yeah, outside of that, I can't really think of any other teams that made huge pick. Philly, I think, had a good signing. Or Philly, I think, had a good offseason. But
PJ Tucker.
Yeah, PJ Tucker.
They're under investigation.
Yeah, the tampering stuff is definitely under investigation. It was funny because like I kind of agree with it. I saw a tweet where it was like the NBA's gone after Philly for tampering like 3 times now, when teams like the LA can openly tamper with Anthony Davis and nothing will happen. And then like it makes sense, but it's just funny that it's happening to Philly. But yeah, that is a very true fact. Actually, well, we didn't even talk about this in the NFL. Like the Dolphins and their tampering thing that needs to happen today. That was actually Rappaport.
That was big news.
Rappaport said it was like the most egregious tampering he's ever seen.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, Jesus Christ. Like they talked to Sean Payton during the season about being the head coach without asking for permission from the Saints. Like they interviewed him. They talked to Brady about becoming a owner or like a minority owner during the season without getting permission.
Yeah. They tampered with Brady even before he went to the Bucs too.
Yeah, like when he was with the Patriots.
Yeah. And then they still tamper with him when he's with the Bucs.
Yeah.
I don't know why, like, how come Brady doesn't get like any punishment for that?
I don't know. Like people are asking that, and like both him and Peyton aren't getting punished. Like he took the meetings. Like
yeah,
I don't know. That is really, I don't know why. That's odd. I'll have to see why. But yeah, that is very weird. Why they're not getting any punishment for that.
Yeah.
I think there was another thing that the Dolphins did, but I don't really remember it.
And Deshaun Watson was suspended just 6 games. When people were assuming, it could be 8, it could even be the entire season. and only 6 games, which is
It's
interesting.
Shocking. It was so the judge. I don't understand how it was only 6 games because the judge literally said he's like, this is the most egregious non-violent act we've ever reviewed.
Yeah, I think that's what they're kind of, and what the defense is kind of portraying Deshaun to be like. We're like, they're saying, no, Deshaun didn't commit any technical crimes or anything like that. He's just a really nasty, creepy guy. And that's all he is. You know, he's not a criminal, but he's a nasty, creepy weirdo. Yeah. So that's why it's like the most egregious, I guess, non-criminal act or something.
Yeah. I just like, and like they literally said like he's bad. They said they banned him from all massage parlors not managed by the Cleveland Browns. So they know he did wrong. Like they know he messed up. And they only give him 6 games. I don't get it. I don't like everything about their reasoning is like, okay, he should get a year at least or be in prison. But they're like, no, 6 games. And no fine either, which is the funny part. But Calvin really bets on a game he's not even playing in, and he loses $18 million.
And he bets on his team to win.
Yeah, bets on his team to win. He's not even playing. It makes no sense. The NFL has to change. I was talking with a friend about it yesterday. He's like, I'm not surprised that it was 6, because just the way the NFL is, and like to me, I was like, they have to have one case where they change the precedent, because the NFL has had a lot of cases lately where they just like they don't care about women pretty much. Like if you do something to a woman, as long as she's not dead, you'll be fine. Which is just a horrible precedent. But they have to have some decision change it, and I pray that this was the one. But it looks like it's not going to be. And the NFL can still appeal it and try and make it more. I don't know if they will, but we'll see.
I think the NFLPA, their kind of argument too, like against that would be, as you said, like the culture with the owners and stuff. As long as you don't kill a woman, like you're fine. With Jerry Jones and Dan Snyder, how Dan Snyder's still an owner is crazy to me. So the NFLPA would be like, yo, you didn't punish any of your owners. Why are you punishing our guy for probably doing like less than Dan Snyder's?
Oh yeah, yeah. But I think it's just such a messed up system with it. Like Josh Gordon gets banned from the league essentially because of weed.
Le'Veon Bell had to miss a year because of that.
Yeah. Terrell Pryor got like a free tattoo.
Yeah.
He missed like 12 games. But Ray Rice can beat a woman on camera and get 2 games. Cool. Awesome.
And Kareem Hunt can still be in the league.
Yeah, Kareem Hunt can still be in the league after he's caught on video. It's just like, I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Makes no sense. But it's like the Rockies. If you try and make sense of this, it's just going to hurt your brain.
Yeah, I mean, it just literally hurt your brains.
Yeah. Looks like that might be it.
Yeah.
We will definitely talk about Broncos stuff when preseason happens. I might be going to the joint practice.
Ooh.
The Cowboys one, because I know that's open to the public. So we'll see.
That'd be fun. Might
be able to talk about that.
Wait, when is that?
It's on Thursday, the 11th.
Yeah, man. Oh, the 11th? I'm probably working, but
yeah.
Okay.
Like I leave on like the 13th or the 14th or the 12th or the 13th. Like that one day I might have some time. But we'll see. But that preseason game is coming up quick. Football is so close. And with the Tim Patrick injury, we're definitely gonna have to watch and see which current Broncos receiver takes that spot. So we'll see. They still have 3 strong with Sutton, Hamler, and Judy, but we'll see who fills in a Tim Patrick role.
Yeah.
But I think that will be it. We will talk about football when it happens.